What's up, people of the world? It's me again, Alex Swimmer, aka AP3 Jumped, and today I'm reviewing something a little different. I'm reviewing a first miniseries. It's called Infinity Train, and you probably know something about it. I guarantee any of you who watch it, who is an animation fan at all, has known about or has watched Infinity Train. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about the history of Infinity Train. So yeah, it started off as a pilot 3 years ago in 2016. It was uploaded on Cartoon Network's YouTube channel as a it was uploaded as a Cartoon Network mini because that's that's what they call their little pilot shorts. It's kind of like what a Nickelodeon has done this too. And if you want to go way back, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon did this in more complete packages in formats known as Oh Yeah Cartoons, and that was Nickelodeon show, and then Disney Channel had Short McShort shorts, and Cartoon Network had What a Cartoon. It took me a second to remember all their names, but so yeah, when it comes to Infinity Train, it took a long story short. It took took about 3 years for 3 years for the full series to actually become a thing, and it was actually revealed to be a mini series lasting from August 5th to August 9th. I'm looking at my calendar over there off camera. But yeah, when it comes to the original pilot, I I don't remember watching it. Maybe I did and maybe I didn't. But like I said, people loved it so much and were excited to see a full series, and we finally got it. And even though I didn't watch the even though I may or may not have watched the original pilot, I I decided excuse me, I decided to give this new series a shot because let me close this window. It's distracting me. All right, there we go. So yeah, I'm glad I made that decision because I watched every single episode live. And let me tell you something about this show. I'm reviewing all 10 episodes collectively here. This show, it's great. It's one of my new favorite shows this year. Yes, I've had three new favorite shows this year. First one was The Masked Singer. Second one was Amphibia, and now the third one is for this year is Infinity Train. So yeah, let me tell you, the show it's one of the start off with it's one of the most inventive and creative shows I've seen in a very long time, given its premise and seeing all the different train cars. The worlds that are inside the train cars are completely off the wall and very unique a lot of the time. Like there's this one car. It's one of the first cars that Tulip finds herself in. It's like it looks like a grid room, and you step on these squares, and once you step on them, like 3D pixels emerge, and you do that repeatedly and repeatedly. You wind up making like 3D pixelated sculptures. And there's another room where it looks like everything is like reflective, and everything looks like that one scene in the SpongeBob episode SB129. I think that's what it was called. It looks like that scene where everything was chrome on the outside. That's what that reminded me of. And then you have another room where that, by the way, in the Chrome room, people's reflections are. It turns out your reflection is a living thing in an alternate universe. So that is a very interesting concept. Yeah, and there's another room where it's one of the last rooms that Tulip travels through. It's a room that is like it's a giant um, play playpen playground type thing, like the playpens that you see at like McDonald's, Burger King, or Chuck E. Cheese. That's what that entire car is, and that's actually where one of the it's actually where some of the most climactic, where one of the most climactic and emotional scenes takes place. So yeah, the that's a good segue. So the themes of this show, the show is very emotional too, and uh, just like in Fable, it has its emotional moments. It has its like climactic emotional moments where the stakes are high, and Tulip is she winds up on this train in the first place because she's trying to go to game camp because neither of her parents are able to take her to game camp because she's very passionate about video games and coding, which she's done, and both her parents are divorced. So yeah, I can relate. I can relate to Tulip in a lot of ways. Yeah, I was a child of divorced parents. It fucking sucks every time. For any kid that's gone through divorce, it sucks every single time, no matter if your parents get along afterwards or not. So and of course, I love video games, so I relate to her in that sense too. And we both wear glasses. That's hardly anything that have in common with anybody. The glasses thing, but yeah. Tulip, as the main protagonist, she's a very fun character. I'm glad this show has yet another female lead. The more female leads, the better. There's been a lot of animated shows that have female leads here lately. Amphibia, like I mentioned, this show, and some upcoming shows that are coming out in the future. One of them is called The Owl House. That's coming. That's coming to Disney Channel. And then there's another one. I forget what it's called, but it's about this. It's about this girl who's stuck with this like grumpy ghost. I can't remember the name of the show. But yeah, that's really nice to see, and to see more female protagonists. Like just overall, not just animation, but in any piece of media, like the new Star Wars movies, for example. So and I know I'm going all over the place with this review since I'm talking about the whole series as a whole. And the other characters, the other supporting characters, are very fun too. One, he's a very fun character. He looks and acts just like a character from the Portal series. He looks like he was pulled straight out of that series. And what's interesting is that one is actually like two characters in one. So that's where the phrase one comes from. The one half is glad one, I believe, and his other half is called sad one. And then there's this other supporting character called Atticus. He's a corgi who's actually he's a talking corgi who's actually the king of his little train car. It's like the corgi car, and the antagonists in this show too are very interesting and compelling, and they have very interesting motives. And there's a lot of twists and turns throughout the series as well, like especially right towards the end. So I forgot to warn you guys about spoilers. So if you have not watched the series, I'm warning you, major spoilers ahead. I am going to talk about spoilers right now. 3, 2, 1. We're in spoiler territory. So yeah, it turns out we meet the conductor in like the playroom car, and turns out that actually it isn't the conductor. It's actually a passenger who's been on this train for like years. And for anyone who's watched the show, you know how Tulip has a number on her hand indicating how how much longer she has to stay on the train, and her Tulip's number goes down anytime she solves a problem in any given train car. Well, it turns out the per, the per, the older woman who is posing as the conductor in this like mech suit, who I actually thought was just a straight up robot, and she's actually operating the mech inside her head. She has numbers all over her damn body, like from her hand to her arm, and all the way through her chest and neck, and yeah, it doesn't seem like she'll ever get out of the train. And so yeah, long story short, it turns out the conductor is 1-1. And because in the beginning of the series, Tulip meets 1-1, and 1-1's trying to find his mom, and turns out his mom is the train. So yeah, and that also explains the scene in that one car with like that one abstract car with living turtles. Like some of these cars are like super specific in excuse me in the environments, and yet still being very creative at the same time. And so yeah, this show, what's got going for it? It's widely inventive. It's just a delight to the eyes and visually. Uh, and aside from the rooms, everything looks like it's like painted in like a watercolor style, and it looks like kind of looks like I'm looking at a storybook. Actually, those are the vibes I got from the art style from seeing it for the first time, and so yeah, and also the characters are great, and it's I love the story. I love the overarching story. I loved the mystery surrounding the whole show and the actual train itself, and just yeah, there was a lot of twists and turns and a lot of mysteries, and it's just one of those shows that keeps you guessing, animated or otherwise. And like Amphibia, another cartoon I recently got into, this show has its fair share of emotional moments as well. And at one point, Atticus, it seems like he straight up died and got eviscerated by the laser from well, whom we thought was the conductor, and turns into one of those creatures that was first seen in like one of the first episodes. And at first it seems like all hope is lost, but then there's actually a way to save Atticus, and a long story short, they did. So yeah, overall, I really love this show. I'm glad I started watching it, and I watched every episode live. And like I said, and this was actually, I think, the first miniseries I've ever watched, like animated or otherwise. This is also the first animated miniseries I've ever seen, and I wasn't expecting it to be revealed as a miniseries until we actually the show actually pulls off this show does what Marvel does and actually has an after credits scene and the see in the final episode 10. So it turns out this is not exactly a miniseries, because it said at the end Infinity Train will return. In the same exact way that Marvel announces their stuff, like this character will return, and yeah, it's literally that same exact situation. And yeah, so that's cool. Whenever Infinity Train is coming back, I can't wait to see that. It's still considered an anthology series, so there have been theories about, since Tulip finally got off the train at the end of the day and is back with her, seeing her parents again, and who seem to get along now. They didn't seem to before Tulip got on the train. So that's nice that they finally were able to get along as co-parents. And again, I relate to that all too damn well. So what else was I gonna say? One theory that I saw was like every new season, like every future season of Infinity Train is going to feature a completely different character because, as we saw in the final episode, there have been multiple passengers on the Infinity Train itself. And there's also this other theory where some of those said passengers could actually have turned into some, if not all, of the residents of all of the damned train cars. So, yeah, again, there's still a lot of speculation in terms of what the series has in store for us next. So, either way, I'm really excited to see what's to come for the future of the series. I don't know when we'll get to see more content of Infinity Train, or like when season 2 is going to happen, if you want to call it that. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a random fun fact. There are actually some notable voice actors whom I didn't realize who they were while watching, but I did recognize their voices while watching. I just couldn't put my finger on it as to who these cast members were. So it turns out, excuse me, the voice of Tulip actually happens to be the voice of Ellie from the Last of Us series. So, and also, the voice of Atticus is Ernie Hudson, of Ghostbusters fame. So that's really cool to see that this show has some notable cast members in it, even if there aren't that many that I recognize, or that most people would recognize, I guess. So, yeah, if for some reason you haven't watched this show yet, I highly recommend it, and I really can't wait for season 2 if they're going to call it that. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to wait and see. Oh, and another fun fact: Tulip underwent a redesign for the series, and I actually think she looks much better in the TV series than she did in the pilot. The shape of her head was like completely different, and her glasses were thicker, and yeah, she just looks so much better in the actual series. So a much cleaner looking design. So yeah, and I think I'm pretty much done. And I guess another thing Tulip and I have in common is that she has a green hoodie, and my favorite color happens to be green. So yeah, I really should not be sucking on cough drops while filming. Anyway, if you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of future videos I make. Because yeah, YouTube doesn't know how to. YouTube doesn't know what to do if you don't do that. So anyway, I'm not gonna rant about that. That's another rant for another time, I guess. And like the video if you liked it, and let me know what you thought of the Infinity Train miniseries first season, as it turns out, because there's going to be more stuff from the show in the long run, so that's really exciting. And my phone's about to run out of space. I have more reviews on the way, such as more My Little Pony Friendship is Magic reviews, obviously, and I'm also going to review Invader Zim Enter the Fortress this weekend. So yeah, I'm going to try not to delay my damn reviews. I'm sorry I've been delaying these reviews, like this one and the Rocco review, and yeah. I'll try to do better with that next time. Try to do my reviews more closer to the actual release dates of these things that I'm reviewing. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm Max Homer, aka AP3Chum. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Also, I can't believe they use Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train as one of the theme songs for this for the promotional material for this show. I honestly didn't expect that. It's like the second time I've been pleasantly surprised seeing a licensed song in a new show. So yeah. All right, I'm done now. Goodbye.